Welcome to the Creation Evaluation Station. On this very special episode, we are going to be reviewing this big guy here. Yes, Optimus has entered the building. So, if you're not familiar with my channel, I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do discussion and review of other creative works, such as movies, cartoons, and video games. Now, these are in-depth reviews, and therefore there's a lot here, and this is a big set, so this is going to be a very long video. I'm probably going to have a lot to say as well. So make sure you check out the timestamps down below and skip to the parts that you want to see the most, or use them as bookmarks to come back and finish watching at a later time if you don't have time to watch the whole entire thing. Don't be intimidated by the time in the corner. That's what the timestamps are for. So, let's take a closer look at this box. It's big, and I gotta back it up here to see all of it. There he is. The big guy himself in this nice black box with this little red trim on the bottom. Got that good old Transformers logo here. And yes, you can see right there, mode changing. And on the back, it shows the mode changing. It also shows the accessories and some other nice shots here. It's design, the backpack and stuff. Oh boy, can't wait to get this together. But before I get to that, let's get down to its details. It's set number 10302. It's got 1,508 pieces, quite a few. It's for ages 18 plus. Now, so don't buy it for your little kid, unless you know your little kid can handle it. Not saying they can't. You have to really judge by yourself. These age limits are relative. I know a 10-year-old me probably would want this and probably still would be just fine putting it together, but make sure you know your kids before you buy this for them. Because this is not a cheap set. Comes in at $169.99. And it's currently available on the Lego website. But yeah, make sure your kids are capable of putting something like this complicated and large together before getting it for them. It is meant to be more of an adult collector's set, so do that. Anyways, let's go put this thing together and check it out. We have the contents of the box, or at least some of it, maybe about half. But here's bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, bag 5, and bag 5.5. 2 bag 5s. And bag 6. But wait, there's still more to come. As we continue, bag 7, bag 8, bag 9, there, bag 10, and then we have 11th bag of just tires. Top of that, we have our big old instruction booklet. It's nice and thick. It's a very big pamphlet, and it's very sharp with that Autobot symbol on it. And we have only 5 stickers, and 1 is for the plaque. So Optimus only has 4 stickers on him. That means we've got prints. Yay! Before I get putting it together, we'll take a closer look at that book, because I'm pretty sure there's more than just instructions in there. It's more than meets the eyes. Okay, let's take a quick look at this instruction booklet. Side, we have some Ooh. So this is some stuff about a comic book. I have not read all this information. It's also in 3 different languages. Stuff about Optimus Prime specifically. We got some nice artwork. That has a nice page. Some stuff about his accessories, I guess. The Lego design team that was behind him. Oh, there's the instructions. I think there's a bit more on the back here. Talking about his transformation. Oh, instructions for his transformation. Okay, that's cool. So this is like a regular transformer. We even have transforming instructions. And I think that's it. Those are parts list. Oh yeah, just some feedback information. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And here's the bag of tires. There's tires. There's 6 of them. But hey, we want to be thorough here at the Creation Evaluation Station. Here we have the contents of bag 1. And of course, we have a brick separator. Some transparent, what do they call that? Charcoal? Gray? I don't know. Transparent. Black, maybe. Pieces. A lot of plates. Oh, these things. Yeah. I have never seen these before. These are interesting. I mean, it's got a Technic pinhole in it, but it's got a wider thing. I'm kind of curious how it's used. Yeah, then there's 2 of these in here. Might be more in the whole entire set. We'll find out. Bunch of hinges. Older hinges. Then you got some newer ball joint pieces. I don't know where the other parts of them are. Probably get connected in different bag. A lot of little pieces. And despite all the red, black, and gray, there's some other colors in here as well. These green, transparent green 1x1s, and some blue transparent blue 1x1s, and these blue round 2x2s. A lot of single little tile pieces. And that's it. There's a lot here, but this is only bag 1. There we have bag number 3. We have a lot of blue, gray, and black pieces. Excuse me. A bunch of tiles, big tiles. We have something I was hoping to see is some of these new joints in here. It's really great to see. Oops, I should be over there with the rest of them. Oh well. We've got some basically plates and a lot of studs on side pieces, bigger ones and smaller ones over here. Other pieces, we have a ton of these 1x2 cheese wedge pieces, and that's it. Oh, well, 2 more things here of note. We have printed hubcaps. They are some nice prints. Here we have bag 4. Quite a few plates and stuff in here. So a couple long ones. There's some weird colored stuff I'm guessing is probably interior stuff. Like these tan parts here. There's a lot of these 1x4 plates. And a good number of these 1x6 plates. Have tiles to go along with them. Oh, I have some more of these over here. There was a lot of pieces to go through here. Didn't quite get everything perfect. There were 2 interior bags, so there's quite a few small bits in here. More tan pieces over there. We have some lovely chrome pieces over here. The cheese wedge pieces. I'm pretty sure those are for the legs. So I'm looking at maybe the legs are here. They're so shiny. They look white in my light box because they are reflecting all the whiteness. Yeah, there's quite a few small pieces, small to medium. This is bag 5. We are halfway there. There's not too much to say about this one because it's almost exactly like the other one except for these wheel wells, which I'm guessing I'll probably need to grab some more tires and some other pieces because this is the left leg and the bag previously was the right leg, so they are very similar. We also have more of these hub pieces which go along with the tire or the wheel wells or wheels. So yeah, if it looks familiar, that's because it's pretty much the same. Here is bag 6. Finally, something different. Those last 2 were exactly the same. Got some nice more shiny pieces here. These round curved pieces. More plates. I don't feel like there's quite as many large pieces. We're getting down to the smaller stuff here. These are little rubber nubs. Probably friction for the bottom. Oh yeah, they've used those for tank treads. They're usually black. Orange is a strange color for them. Got some nice shiny silver vent pieces. Ton of these 1x2 cheese wedges, along with a bunch of single ones as too. Trans red pieces, tiles. Here we have bag 7. Got a lot of plates. I think we're now moving into the arms. Hinges back there. We have these beautiful printed Autobot symbols. Love those. Glad they're not stickers. Got a bunch of these drum lacquered grill pieces. Well, there's still quite a few pieces. A lot of smaller ones though. Here we have the 8th bag, and we have a lot of plates of different sizes, shapes. Although nothing really super big. More smaller stuff. We have the piece that I shall now nickname the Optimus piece. This piece was specifically designed for Optimus's placemat or face mask, shield, whatever you want to call it. It is, from what I hear, it's in another set, but it was designed specifically for this set. It's very similar to, that roof angle piece, but not quite as steep and curved, and it's got the end pulled off. Looks perfect for Optimus, but yeah, that was designed just for Optimus, so I'm dubbing it the Optimus piece. And we got some prints here, including this one here for the top of his head. That's the top of his head. There should be a printed piece for his eyes. Strange, maybe it's not in here. We got the face mask and everything else. That would be very disappointing if that piece is missing. But that's it for this bag. We have bag 9 here, and it's quite the colorful assortment. We've got his energy axe and an energon cube, and they add up to quite the color scheme. Got some really long rods here. I think these are splat pieces for their blast and splat stuff for Marvel. We have quite a few of these transparent pink 1x2 bricks. A lot of other orange parts. More transparent ones back there. That's in silver. Quite the bright set of parts compared to the rest of the set. Here we have our last and final bag. Got a lot more plates going on here. I believe this is mostly the jetpack, although we do have a large black plate here that is probably our plaque. And probably some other stuff going on here too. Got another lovely printed piece, the Autobot symbol. And that's it. Let's go finish this. Here we have our leftover pieces from this set. There's nothing too amazing of note, except for maybe this one wand piece in this weird color. But other than that, it's a lot of studs and 1x1 bricks and tiles and things, some extra pins. Quite a few pieces though. But then again, what do you expect for a 1500 piece set? Autobot assembled! Yes, here's Optimus Prime all put together. Looking quite photogenic, just saying. And this guy's black down there. His accessories are off to the side. We will look at them. He doesn't fit fully in the camera. I'm sorry, he's just too big. But we'll take a closer look at him in just a moment. First, let's check out his scale. For Lego viewers who aren't Transformers fan and haven't seen a Transformers video, they like to show these in scale with other Transformers. So that is what we are going to do first. It just so happens I put this guy together. Yes, he's on the older side. I've had him for a while sitting in his assorted boxes. But here he is next to Abominus. He's quite large, as you see. If you're not familiar with these combiner Transformers, they are large themselves, but Optimus is so much larger. Obviously, he's not to scale, because the real Optimus would probably be down here somewhere in comparison to this guy. So that's him. And just for kicks, we'll bring the camera down just a little bit. Down, way down. And there's this sign. And let's see him compared to a minifigure. There you go. There's some scale for you Lego people out there. And oh wait, that's not a Lego guy. What are you doing in there? Oh, he's a crayon. Let's get a real Lego figure in there. Everybody knows whose this is, and I have plenty of them laying around. So there is Owen Grady, next to the large Optimus Prime. You can see he's quite huge. And those crayons are from the Creo series, and they are same scale, same height, basically, as your standard Lego minifigure. But we'll talk more about them in another episode. More videos to come on the Creo. And if you want some, you can always check out my Creo Optimus Prime video, which there will be a link at the end of this, and probably one up here, probably. So, let's take a closer look at him. We will be transforming him, something that's also common in a Transformer review. Although, personally, if I was doing him, I probably wouldn't do that, because I have enough problems keeping my hands out of the camera view. So this would be harder to do. First, let's bring him in closer so I can handle him easier. With the camera on him, so big, had to pull back. And let's start off with his accessories. First, we have, ta-da! It doesn't do much, but it's an Energon cube. I don't know if we can get him to hold it. We could try. Let's see here. Oh, open up the hand. I don't think it would fit easy. Yeah, there you go. He's holding it. No, it's not insecure. I wouldn't bump him around too much. He'll probably drop it. But there's that. There's that accessory. Next up, we have his Energon axe, which looks pretty cool, although I think it looks better from the one side more than the other. Quite orange and glowy, but what do you expect from Energon? I twisted his arm right off. Actually, going to put it in his other hand, which we'll bring down here. I think I'm going either one, but just going to do that. We'll remove his gun, but actually, before I do that, we might as well look at the gun. So the gun's accessory too, and he's actually not gripping onto it, although it goes into his hand. It actually connects onto these two studs right here. That's very clever. And the gun looks absolutely amazing. There's a lot of clever uses of parts to get this to look the way it does, but it looks very accurate to his blaster. It's so awesome. Anyways, on to the Energon axe, which the Energon axe doesn't look quite as good as the gun, but you know, it still looks good. But you take his hand actually completely off, like so. And then this is supposed to go in. Make sure it's in tight. Actually, I guess you'd want it the other way, wouldn't you? There you go. And there you go. There's his Energon axe. It's ready to choppy and fight with Megatron against his own Energon weapons. Looks kind of goofy just in a static position like that. Let's try a more chopping action. There we go. That looks better. Much better. Yeah, that thing's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, it doesn't look the same on both sides, so it's not a perfect mirror image of itself, but it still doesn't look bad either way. And we just pull that out and pop his hand back in. And there is still 2 more accessories left to go. Well, technically 3. First, let's just look at this plaque. Now, it is a sticker, which regretfully I dislike the most. I feel it'd be much more specialer if it was a actual print. But you can see back here it's built up, so it'll stand up very nicely, like so. Anything else I want to say about that? No, but you got all his information down there. His stats. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. So, next. Where should we do next? Okay, this isn't really accessory, but we have this plate here that's supposed to replace this. It depends on, you know, your aesthetics, what you like the most. But this is supposed to be for basically his vehicle mode. Whatever reason he had the more belt buckly looking piece when transform. I think the original Transformer actually had a thing that spun around to switch the different views. Why he even had the buckle looking thing, I don't know. It looks fine either way. It doesn't need to look like he's got a big belt buckle. So that's that. Oh, one more accessory here. We're staring right at us. You can't see it, but here it is. Yes. Ooh. Well, maybe. If I can get it open. There we go. Ah. There it is. He has the matrix of leadership. And it comes out like so. It's a little on the small side, so you can't exactly hold on to it like you've seen him do before. It doesn't click in anywhere. It just kind of sits in here. And it actually is pretty clever what they use. They got the two mixel joint pieces with the open ends just facing out, and it slips right in there. It doesn't move around now. It could fall out, but when you have his chest closed, it doesn't move at all. It's very nice that way. We have one more accessory to look at, which we kind of have to take off anyways before we transform him. And that is his jet booster backpack thing. Now, it's supposed to be an accessory, but I personally like to keep it on there because it keeps him more balanced, so he's not quite so front heavy. He won't fall over, but it keeps him more erect, straight up and down, opposed to leaning forward just slightly, which he does do. But with that additional weight back here, it keeps him more balanced. It comes off easy enough. There's just two clips back there. It is a little bit harder to get on, because you got to line up these clips here just right. But it's not too bad. And these move around a little bit. You want to hold them just right or whatnot. We're not quite done with this, but we're done with it for now. So let's move into the transformation thing. And the great thing about this transformation is it's just like the original. Now, let's see. I think first we want to start with, well, we can start with the head anyways. Head, hold it down, and then the arms, fold up. You know what? We need to stop this because I gotta check the instructions. Just had to go check the instructions and make sure I had his hands in the right place. I got him here with me now, so in case I have to refer back to him. Yeah, you gotta make sure his hands are in the right place. Thumbs are turned up, hands are out kind of like this. Then we move this here off to the side and pull her up. Woo! There's his underside. He looks a little thin under there. And we rotate it around like so. And whole thing up like this. Rotate his head. Flip this around so he's back on his wheels. rotate his head up and in. Let's see. He's in his weird truck Gerwalk mode. Pull up these flaps, both sides. So, start tucking his arms in just right. Just make sure they're in there. Right angle. So we need to turn this down so you can see it now that he's not standing up so high. Something's not right back here. So, we pull his arms in. The other side. Yeah, pull them in there. They're down like this. Pull down the front. Snap everything right in place. Pull down the sides. Yeah, they kind of already got turned around. Make sure these are turned in this position. And fold down the feet like so. That is the second time that hunch popped off like that. I don't know why. So, we already switched the belt buckle. This is where you were supposed to switch the front of this. And turn it around, because not only it's fully transformed, but we have more to do, because we can also turn down that and then store it back here. Like so. It's nice and tight. And it's supposed to click in. No, I think it's, yeah, that's it. Right there. This is supposed to go on the back here somewhere too. But it doesn't click in, it just sits back there. Huh. Some other people actually put it on back there. Well, there he is, fully transformed to truck mode. And while in truck mode, he rolls really well. So it still looks good, even though he's a Lego construction. Very smooth shape. Let's head back to the desk and give it a final eval. It's time to give this guy a final eval. And my overall thoughts. This thing is amazing on multiple levels. It is amazing. Its mere existence is amazing. To have a Transformer made in Lego, officially made in Lego, because there's a lot of people who've made mocks out there, and no shade to them whatsoever, but to have an official release from Lego with a Transformer is just beyond belief. It's something one could never imagine. And I am a big Transformers fan, along with being a big Lego fan, so it's amazing on multiple levels. As a Lego set, building construction set, it's quite amazing as well, which we'll talk a little bit more in detail as we move along with the evaluation. But overall, it leaves one speechless. Yes, so let's just get on with the eval, because it's speechless, like I said. Okay, as far as appearance, it looks really great. Probably the least nice looking thing is the Energon X. Even still, that looks really good. It just doesn't quite have the same quality on both sides, but it still looks really nice. Now, I was half tempted not to put stickers on here to see what it looked like without stickers. And it does look fine without stickers. There's really not much in the way of stickers. There's the belt buckle piece here, which there's two different belt buckles if you want the one with the big gold plate, or you want the one that just looks like a bumper. And then there's prints on his upper legs here, or not prints, I mean stickers there. And he can do fine without them. He would still look good without them. The only sticker he can't do without, although it's not exactly on his person, is the one that is here. But I ended up putting the stickers on anyways. Normally I don't. Primarily is because I always think that Legos could be, rebuilt into something else. I'm not touching this guy. He's not getting scrapped or, used for a mock or something like that. He's staying as is and going on a bookshelf or something somewhere. Yet to decide what I'm going to do with him. But yeah, without his stickers, he still looks really good, because most of the stuff you see on here is prints, like all the Autobot signs, his eyes, even the little arrows on his hands here are actually prints. I love those arrows, because this thing is based off the original toy, and that's exactly what they had, were little arrows where you're supposed to extend out his hands. Although that's not quite how it works with the transformation here, but it's still, it's that accurate. I know a lot of people are complaining about the print here on his face. It's just a tile, actually the side of a brick of a plate that they printed, and it looks very flat. But the thing is, from a distance, it looks fine, unless you really get up close to it and realize it's that flat. You don't notice it too much, partially because it's so small, I think. But yeah, the appearance, it looks like a larger version of the original toy. It looks great. The use of parts to make the different shapes, it makes it look so good. The only downside I say is when it's in vehicle mode, it still looks good, but on the back you can see a little bit of the cracks. And even on the back of this without the backpack, it looks a little weaker. But, you know, it transforms, and even Transformers from a certain angle don't look good either. Even probably the original Optimus Prime, which I don't have the original, sadly enough. I don't have a lot of G1, even though I was around then. Parents didn't have a lot of money to throw at toys for us, which is fine. Yeah, so he looks really good. So good. Oh, and I forgot about the prints for his hubcaps as well. So appearance got a 10 out of this. What little there is that you could complain about is drowned out by so much goodness that it's yeah. Now, as far as function goes, there's nothing to complain about here. He's got plenty of moving joints. He doesn't have posable knees, but I could easily see where you could modify it if you wanted to. But no posable knees, but neither did the original toy, so it's based off that. So what's the big deal there? Now his hands are posable, and I don't know why, but he doesn't have individual finger posability except for the thumb. He could easily. You could just simply take this one piece off and he'd have individual fingers. Now, I think the fingers would be a little bit more likely to fall off that way, but it still could be done if you wanted him to be able to have a little bit more posability in the hand. And the transformation works great. Now, you saw me doing it in the review, and that was actually the first time transforming it, so I was a little... But once you get used to it and know exactly where you need to put things, it goes smoothly. The transformation is really nice. It's the only cumbersome part is just simply his mass, because he's a really big figure. But it's pretty easy transformation and works. Looks, totally different, changing forms. Got backpack. Backpack does a really good job helping to cover up some of the back stuff. Plus, it also gives him a little bit more weight in the back, so he's more balanced front to back. So, that functions well. The ability to switch out his hand for the energy axe, which that's the way it is. He doesn't hold on to the axe. That's not how it works. He actually brings his hand in, and out comes this energon axe, kind of like a lightsaber, only an axe. Works great. So yeah, as far as functions going, it's getting a 10 as well. Now, fun. This was a fun build to put together. Well, we'll talk more about that with technique, but yeah, this was a fun build to put together. And it's fun to transform, and it's just, the truck rolls really well, so there's plenty of fun there. I ended up giving fun a 9, and the reason why I didn't give it a full-on 10 is simply because, even though this can be easily played with, it's a little bit harder for kids to play with, considering its size. And secondly, the lack of playing with anything else. I mean, transforming it back and forth is great, but you've got nothing else to work with. I don't know if they're going to make more. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but I don't know if they're going to make more Transformers or whatever to play with. You could play with it with your other Transformers. It looks that good that it could be an actual Transformers toy. So I gave it a 9 just because it's more of a collector's item, a collectible, but it's still a playable collectible. Like, if it was just more of a collector's display piece, I'd probably even give it an even lower grade than a 9. But it's not getting a 10 because of that aspect of it. Now, on to technique. And this was amazing. This is amazing. Now, it uses the new joint system in its hips, but which comes to the point that's not really an amazing technique anymore. That's just simple, good use of parts. That's what they're using the parts for, what they're supposed to be. But there are plenty of clever uses of parts all over this in different aspects. And also, what really surprised me was the lack of use of Technic parts. Now, they're in here. They're still using Technic parts. But what I'm saying is, like, using the Technic pieces to build a skeleton and then go from there. That's not what happens here. This is pure, mostly brick build right here. That's what amazed me. There's so much brick building here, and not like a Technic substructure that you build off from or anything like that. There are Technic pieces with some holes here and there, and pins and joints and things like that, but it's mostly pure Lego build. And on top of that, the first thing you build is kind of the torso, and when you're building it, there is a lot of subtle uses of parts to save space. Rather than like using a whole 2x2 plate, you would use an angle plate there that only has 3 studs, so you're cutting off a little bit of the corner and saving just a little bit of space. Now, this might also save a little bit on the money, but also saves a little bit on the weight on top. And I noticed they did that there, and this is also a little bit more hollower on top with the way this is built, and even the lower part here. But the legs, they went all out. There's none of that type of things there, making the legs heavier, which is exactly what you want, so it doesn't become top heavy. I mean, he doesn't even look top heavy. The legs are good and chonky, which is fine. That's how these type of Transformers were back in the day. Don't be fooled by the Bayformers stuff or anything else. These aren't the Transformers were always a little bit on the blocky side. It's part of their charm almost. Yeah, so there was thought given to weight distribution inside the build of this. That is amazing. Not amazing, but I mean, it's great that they considered this while building this. They did what they could to save. Probably weight. I don't know if they did to save money. It was probably more to keep it balanced. Just like this backpack on the back helps balance it out too. So yeah, I gave Technique a 10. This thing is really amazing. So that gives us an average of a 9.75, which we round up on this channel, and he gets a 10. Not a solid 10, but a 10 indeed. And he's definitely well worth it. Now, on top of that, we have his price, which he is pricey at $169.99. No doubt about that. I know back in the day as a kid, I wouldn't be able to get him with my allowance. But 1,508 pieces. Take that 169 divided by that, and you get 11 cents per piece. So he's only a little bit above standard, and considering he's a licensed product, that I think that's a great price. I said going forward I wasn't going to give grade prices on any of the newer stuff, and I'm sticking to that. But still, he is a good price for what you're getting, and more so because there's so much value here on multiple levels. I mean, you get a licensed toy, you're getting a Transformer, and a Lego set. You really are, because you just are. This is like G1 Optimus Prime, and it's really well made. It looks great. You get some fun accessories and usable accessories along with it. It's a good deal as long as you can afford the initial price. You're getting your money's worth with this for sure. So yeah, this thing is amazing. I recommend it to any Transformers fan. I recommend it to any Transformers and Lego fan. If you're just a Lego fan, you don't care too much about Transformers, maybe you're not that interested, but maybe you are. I mean, if you like robots or mechs in general, maybe not a big Transformers fan in of itself, but just of that, you will enjoy this on that level of mech building and robot building, because it's such a fun thing to build and see come to being built. That enjoyment just watching Optimus come together was not counting all the little techniques and everything in this, just watching all the pieces and slowly forming an icon. Really, Optimus is iconic. He's not my favorite Transformer, but there's no doubt about it, he's very important on multiple levels. So he was a good choice to be their first one. I'm glad they didn't do Bumblebee or something, because I know Bumblebee has become a face of the franchise with the movies and stuff, but Optimus is iconic. Bumblebee was more of a go-between the humans and the Transformers, basically because of his size. He was a much smaller Transformer, but Optimus is Optimus. He is an icon. He is something to look up to. He's a hero. He's a role model for many kids growing up in the 80s, and I don't know how so much he is with the newer shows, but yeah, so this has a lot of meaning to a lot of different people, and they will enjoy this set if they can. Even if you're not a Lego fan, just a Transformers fan, you're going to enjoy this, I think, a lot. You may have to get used to putting Legos together, which is not that hard. The instructions were really good. It's split up in multiple different bags. I mean, each leg was a separate bag. It came together. It took me a while, but it came together pretty quick. It was fun to watch, and it is not hard to put together. I know the age they put of 18 plus is really pushing. It's not that hard of a build. It's not a complicated build. At least not the way they have the instructions that kids couldn't put it together. Well, definitely younger teens, stuff like that. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you're new here, please subscribe. If you haven't yet already subscribed, and share this with others. This is something to share with others. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This and I don't know who all will see this, but if you're a Transformers fan only, not big into Legos, tell me what you guys think about this. It's an amazing thing. But so that's it for me here. I'm speechless. I had so much fun building this, and I had fun making these videos. I have one more video coming out. Oh, announcement! I have one more video. We're going to take this guy and we are going to compare him. It's probably not going to be too long of a video because it's not going to require an in-depth review of parts and everything else. But we're going to compare him with the Mega Bloks Optimus Prime, or not Mega Bloks, excuse me, the Creo Optimus Prime that I did a review of already, and one other actual Transformer, which is, well, Transformers fans out there should know who it is, but I'm going to leave it a surprise for you Lego fans if you're not familiar, and that is MP1. That's all I'm going to say. So we're going to do a three-way comparison and just look at them all together, side by side. I'll tell my thoughts of the different things between each of them. There's a reason. That's one reason why I didn't show any of that comparison when I did the main review and picked a random Transformer I had close by. Yeah. So I think that's it. That is the only announcement. That'll be my last Transformer video, unless I do something else later on. I am going to be covering Creo eventually, and we'll be looking at Creo, not just Transformers, because they did do more things than Transformers, and I don't have all of their stuff, but we're going to look at it and just check things out. Something we do here. But that's it for this video. Hope you join me again soon, and I don't know if we'll ever see anything more with these Transformers lines. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if we're going to get anything more like this. I have a feeling we won't, and if we do, won't be on this scale. Like, they might do something smaller, like the Creo sets did, where they were more play sets with minifigures, representations of the Transformers, or something like along those lines. I don't think they'll do more of these. I mean, we may get one or two more. I don't know. I know my wallet couldn't keep getting these of this scale. As beautiful as they are, I will be happy with my Optimus Prime, and that'll be it. And yes, we aren't sponsored here at the Creation Station, at least not yet. I don't think I'm doing good enough yet for sponsors to even notice me. Yeah, that's it for me here at the Creation Evaluation Station, signing off and reminding you that creativity is key.